Sick of listening to the rest of the world preach at America for how we handle our own immigration issues? Well, let's just take a happy jaunt across the pond, where France now has over 300,000 illegal aliens crammed into one neighborhood, with absolutely no plan to fix it. Welcome back to Reality Check on MRC TV, guys. I'm Brittany Hughes. Illegal immigrants have virtually overtaken the French community of Seine-Saint-Denis. It's a small suburb of Paris that sits just a few miles north of the Eiffel Tower. Now, this is just one community, and the steady stream of immigration is not stopping anytime soon. In fact, an estimated 550 new migrants arrive in France every single day. Most of them are from Syria, Afghanistan, and North Africa. They don't speak the language or understand the culture, and it doesn't seem like they really care to. Instead, they just set up shop in large collective migrant communities that effectively push French people out of their own neighborhoods. Now, this area was already impoverished. About 30% of the community's legal residents already live below the poverty line. And all of the mass immigration is not helping. Authorities have already tried to come through and sweep out more than 1,000 migrants from the shanty towns that they'd set up, but that didn't help much, because there are still thousands of people clustered in tents and sleeping on the streets. In fact, it's estimated that illegal immigrants now make up a full 1/5 of this community's entire population. One Parisian senator predicted that the entire area will be one huge ethnic ghetto filled with about 2 million people within the next 20 years. Now, freelance journalist Andrew Malone visited this area and reported back to the Daily Mail saying that he had found migrant communities had already set up their own version of Sharia courts within this community, which police have admitted is now an unofficial no-go zone for native Europeans. These people can't legally work, so many of them make their living in the drug trade or on the black market, selling counterfeit or stolen goods. But while police say that they're obviously concerned about the crime issues, it's the potential for Islamic radicalization that they say worries them the most. There are a record 160 mosques in this one area, which far outnumber the number of churches. But police say that it's the underground mosques that they're most concerned with. Now, of course, it's impossible to know just how prevalent all of these issues are because French law currently prohibits the government from collecting any data based on race, ethnicity, or religion. Now, this is just one snapshot on one community in one country. It doesn't even begin to touch the massive spikes in crime across Germany following a mass migration influx, not to mention Britain having to pass laws against carrying pocket knives in public because people were getting stabbed left, right, and sideways in their own no-go zones. Because, see, this isn't immigration. When you come into a country legally with the intent of assimilating into the culture and becoming a productive, active member of that society, that is immigration. But when you barge across someone else's borders, snub their culture, and tell them to screw off because you've decided to take over their space, that's invasion. It happens right here when people show up at our borders waving their home country's flags and demanding that they be let in simply because they say so. It happens when migrants flood into Paris, take over whole sections of the city, and push all the natives out by threat of violence. It happens when delivery boys are afraid to go into certain parts of London at night because they know that native Europeans are no longer welcome there. And it happens when left-wing radical governments try to score political points at the expense of their own citizens. You end up with Paris. And if that's the way that France feels about their own people, then frankly, I don't care one bit how they feel about us. And that's your Reality Check America. Subscribe to our YouTube page, like us on Facebook and Twitter, and stay sane out there.